everyone. So I am Tak. So I'm happy to be here with all of you. So today, Boyan and Nat and I want to talk to you about the very exciting new way to protect your data. It's an encryption technology called SPIP. Okay, so you all know that the data breach is a big problem. So essential information can be stolen no matter where you keep it. And the damage from data breaches is increasing year by year. So it says that cyber attacks occur every 39 seconds, and also that cause damages amounting at 9.5 trillion. Yes. And we have some way to protect the data, like firewall, but it's kind of surrounding the data with prison. So it becomes difficult to utilize and share the data with others. And once the prison is breached, so the data leak occurs. So today, I'm excited to explain how the ABE can enhance the data security. Yes. Okay, next page. Okay, so let me explain the fundamentals for ABE. So it's the combination of two functions. So we call this the one technology, the two critical functions. The first one is encryption to protect the data, and the second one is the access control. So we can embed the access control feature into the data itself. So this is very unique tool. So because the ABE can protect the data, and also it makes data more usable. So let me explain how it works. So this is a comparison between the conventional encryption and ABE. So using the conventional encryption, we use a key pair for encryption and decryption. So we can encrypt the data with a single encryption key and decrypt it with a decryption key. Yes. But so this is a kind of an all or nothing situation. So it's not possible to show only the portion of the data. And in addition, if you want to distribute this data to multiple users, you have to encrypt the data for each user. So this is not so efficient. So on the other hand, if you are using ABE, so we can generate multiple decryption keys. So for multiple users and also with different policies. So we can still encrypt the data with one single key, and we can implement access policy or attributes to the portion of the data. Yeah. So this one. Yeah. So let's say we want to embed the attributes analytics in these two columns, and then we will provide this blue key to the researchers. And this blue key has the same attributes, analytics. And in this case, the researcher can see this data in these two columns, but he cannot unlock the other columns. So this is the beauty of ABE. So ABE can protect the data and also provide the access control to the portion of the data. So this is a very strong feature. And yes, so that means we can provide the additional data layer protection. So we call this the last line of the defense. So you may think that, but we already have some access control feature implemented in some systems. And yes, you are right. Actually, but most of the system is implementing such access control feature at the application level, system level, or maybe physical layer level. So physical layer level means, let's say, hard disk drive encryption. But this means that data itself is not protected. So if the data is moved out of the system, as in the worst case scenario, maybe the data can be stolen and maybe leaked. But if you're using ABE, even in the same case, the data is still protected. So these are the very strong features of ABE. And the ABE technology. So ABE technology has seen significant growth in academics, so including the post-quantum cryptography. But imagine finding a key on the ground. So you found the key, but it's useless to you. Yes, this was the state of this technology 2 years ago. So we had a key, we had a great key, but we had no idea how to use it. But now we know how to use it. So we have progressed from the cryptographic research into reality. So we have developed a platform which can be easily used and also surrounding components as an application and a system. So this achievement is not only for our NTT research's effort, but also thanks to my collaborators from NTT Data's effort. Yes. Okay, so let me explain one example. So we call this SPIP, and this package is three privacy-enhancing technologies. So one is ABE, and the others are anonymization and multi-party computation. So ABE protects the data, and data anonymization can sanitize the privacy data for data sharing. And multi-party computation can provide collaborative computation in a secure way for the very sensitive data. So we are now providing this platform for three critical areas for protecting security, privacy, and also integrity. And this supports a very wide range of use cases like secure data sharing or zero trust architecture and more. So I would like to pass the mic to Boyan. So Boyan will walk us through the SPIP and how it is being used in the variety of industry and also why it's the game changer of data protection. Yeah, Boyan. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Goto-san. So basically, I hope that you understand the general concept of SPIP platform. But what is very important to mention here that SPIP is very horizontal. And when we are speaking about SPIP, how it is horizontal, practically it can help us to build this more sovereign society, something which is going close to Society 5.0. One of the previous speakers opened a very good question, I think Jeffrey for ServiceNow. And you explained that we are regulating a lot of things in automotive domain, but in cybersecurity we are still lacking a little bit. Maybe we should go in on a higher level. Maybe we should say to the users, okay, if I'm referencing to Mark Weiser, ubiquitous computing society, where all the services will be seamlessly woven into the fabric of everyday's life, we will be aware of them, but we will not see them. We will use them in everyday's life. That will be very important because we should know that services are there to protect us. We don't have to be worried because we need to make this user-centric society. And that's a very important thing because in user-centric society, we should use technologies like these, practically which will by default provide all the cybersecurity hygiene around us. That's what we need to do. So if we just look, for instance, for utilizing AB, it really is a powerful platform. And it can provide, besides security, also legality. In Europe, it's very important. I'm from Europe, so we say in US, you innovate, in Europe, we regulate. So in Europe, we have a lot of regulations everywhere. Now it's NIS2, before it was GDPR. So we need to be careful because privacy and personal information of users is very important. And if some data breach occurs, it can be a big problem. And that's why it is important because speaking nowadays about AB, it's wonderful one way. Because you're protecting information, you're protecting them with the flavor of zero trust architecture. Why? Because zero trust security model says we want to have data to be protected at rest and in transit in both ways. I don't care where you're going to move the data. I want the data to be protected. And that's what actually AB can support. And this is what we are now trying to do also through SPIP platform. We are extending more. You will have on one side digital identity. It's a completely new concept. It is now being applied by some countries, but basically self-sovereign identity, the way how you're controlling your information to people, power to people, let's bring it back. Let's put the society where people will be able to decide which consent they want to give to what part of the information. Of course, there are authorities that can control a little bit bigger level of the information, especially in some suspicious cases. But still, if people can protect their information by default, and if they can really give consent when they want to share their information with whom, utilizing this type of platform, combining AB, combining self-sovereign identity, for instance, but putting them all in the context of zero trust environment, that's something that we can really think about. And I would like to give my word to Nat. He is going to explain exactly how we are doing with zero trust security environment in our context. So Nat, please.
Well, thank you, Bojan and Bojan, Bojan's team in Romania and my team that works for the U.S. that does work for the U.S. federal government are working hand in hand to bring the attribute-based encryption and the security, privacy, integrity protection platform into our ability to help our government clients protect sensitive data. Because to his point, you want to protect sensitive data for the individuals, but let's be realistic, enterprises have a distinct need to protect information also. And interestingly enough, we talk about zero trust. Well, in the federal government, this is actually pretty easy to sell because President Biden actually ordered everybody to do it in 2021. And of course, that was 2021. They're really starting to buy the stuff right now, so it took them a little bit of time to get there. So I kind of agree with Bohan on the regulation and the time it takes to go from deciding to do something until you actually move forward. Our group, the NTT Data Federal, actually has about a decade of experience building fine-grained authorization because of our clients. And so we've been doing this for a long time. We were doing it with attribute-based access control. Turns out the same work we were doing works hand in hand with attribute-based encryption, so we were able to take the same concepts and glue them together. So I'm going to talk real quickly about our Zero Trust Application Framework. That framework is based on NIST, the National Institute of Standards Special Publication 800-204, and that publication has 4 parts, A, B, C, and D, and it talks about how to build fine-grained authorization in cloud-native apps with a service mesh and microservices, and we deliver it with low-code authorization. So one of the things you figure out real quickly when doing this type of work is that being able to make it so that the organizations that you're working with can do the authorization as easily as possible and work with subject matter experts is incredibly important, because once you start figuring out how to do it, it turns out that figuring out who should have access to what and why is not a single question, but many, many questions. Move to the next slide, please. So how does our Zero Trust Application Framework and attribute-based encryption work together? Well, attributes are attributes, whether you're using them for access control or encryption. So if you have a framework for managing the attributes and how those attributes are used and how those policies are created, then it's just a matter of extending that same framework, which is what we've done, and making it so that the framework can be used for building attribute-based encryption into the electronic files. We're calling this spill-proof electronic files. What it really does is it gives us a way to encrypt files, whether they're for dissemination or collection, and then once those things are collected, or once we have that, even if the file itself is exfiltrated or are lost, the people who gain access to it, if they don't have the appropriate attributes or can't get access to the appropriate attributes, they can't get to any of the sensitive data. Or if they can, they're getting to a very limited piece of the sensitive data, not all of it. So obviously that reduces the impact of an inadvertent release, both from the electronic files, but also within the files, because what we can do is take a document and use different attributes within the document so that some parts of the document are readable and other parts aren't. We are actually doing this right now. I can't really talk about the clients very much other than we're doing something for the Department of Defense's travel system, and we're doing a system for managing highly regulated sales. And then we're trying, actually I say trying, we propose ZTAF on all our cloud migration projects, and we implement some components of it in many of them. And with that, I'm going to turn it back to go to Sun.
Thank you, and thank you, Brian, for sharing the great use cases. And I'm glad to know that your system is now being used. So thank you very much. Okay, so yeah, let's wrap up our presentation. So the applications of ABE are very broad and also impactful. So this is not a concept. So this is a practical solution to enhance data security, and it is being widely used in the variety of industries. But I believe this is just the beginning of exploring the full potential of ABE. So I think much more to be achieved. So what I want to do is I want invite each of you to just engage with us. So be it for the collaboration opportunities with us, and that's okay. Just simply to know that you want to learn more about ABE, so how ABE can benefit your organization. So together, I'd like to navigate this very excellent journey towards the more secure, more efficient digital future. So thank you for your attention, and we are looking forward to working with you and exploring the endless possibilities of ABE. Thank you very much.